Can you hear it loud? The world is ready. Stand up proud. Your story is power. Your passion's the spark. With Innovate AI and i3, you'll leave your mark.
How many of you, when you hear the word signature talk, what comes to mind? Go ahead, shout it out.
Keynote.
Keynote, what else? Yes?
Being an author.
Being an author. What else?
Making money.
Making money. I like that. Making money. What else?
Visibility.
Visibility. Yes?
Storytelling.
Storytelling.
TED Talk.
TED Talk.
Being a thought leader.
Being a thought leader. These are all different ways you want to be visible. What's that word?
Visible.
Oh my God, you're invisible right now. What is that word?
Visible.
Visible. It's visible. So when we take a look at what can you do, you know, I was not a believer in social media. I was that girl from Hawaii who wanted to be silent. That's why I was invisible. And it wasn't until I started making an impact and letting people photograph and share that photograph about what I was doing. I'm going to tell you a story. You know, I take women who have a story. And I take them, I coach them, and then guess what we do? We go off to India where they get to speak in front of 2,500 people. When I first did that, a television station in India, 45 minutes of talking, and they actually videotaped it. You know, the next day, my goal is this, to touch the lives of 21 million people. 21 million people. How many of you think that's impossible? Oh, I'm so happy. You know what happened to me that night? I spoke on a topic called, Tell Me What You Stand For. So for some of you that were here, you got to tell me what you stand for. Don't tell me what you do. You're boring when you tell me what you do. But when you tell me what you stand for, I'll tell you, tell me more. All right? And so that night, India Overnight played my video, and I got over 745,000 eyeballs. So if I took a look at that, I can't do math. I said, how close was I to 21 million? Because I'm going to give you another theory. Tony Robbins is one of my other mentors. Tony Robbins said, if I can touch the life of one person, how many? One person, I will ripple effect out to 350,000 people. 350,000 people. Do the math. Was I pretty close to 21 million? If I touch the life of one person, it ripples out to 350,000 people. That is visibility. And who'd have thunk it? A girl from Hawaii who just loves surfing. And now I live in Colorado, and I have no nails because I love whitewater rafting. And ladies, you can't have you can't do whitewater rafting and have beautiful nails. Okay? So what do? We keep showing up, guys. We keep showing up. That's what this is all about. And you fill your pipeline with the dreams that you want to hold for other people. Okay? How do you elevate your voice? Well, you amplify it through impact. You tell your stories with compelling hooks. And you're going to see a couple of compelling hooks with some of my pictures here. Okay? Because you're going to look at me and go, what? All right? You have to have a clear structure. Your message, I want you to write this down. Your pain is your credential.
Say that again, please.
Your pain is your credential. Why did I just say that? Because all of your experience is whose? Point to yourself and say, that's mine. And if you want to teach, learn something that made a difference in your life, and go teach someone else. That's the Nelson Mandela way. Each one, teach one, reach one. Okay? Focused message. Know what you want to talk about. And when you have a story to tell, line it up, guys. Know exactly what the purpose is. You've heard this. What's the why? Why are you telling that story? Find purpose in the stories that you tell. Audience engagement. How many of you have engaged with me so far? Audience engagement. Thank you. I'm not paying anybody right now, okay, guys? They just are helping me along. Credibility builders. Okay? I've been where most speakers are at. I can sell a $100,000 program, but they wouldn't put me on the stage. So guess what? Right place, right time, right people, and you say yes. A speaker did not show up for one of the big events I was at. They said, you know what? Try Mamie, try Mamie. They came up to me and they said, hey, Mamie, we got to fill 40 minutes. You think you can do it? Of course I can. What the hell am I going to talk about? But you know what? All my life I was preparing for that one talk. You know how I prepared? I used to wear this bracelet that had things like create, money, heart, all of these different topics. Was I an expert on it? No, but I had a story to tell. So I spin that bracelet. I said, I'm going to talk about this. You really sure you can talk about that? That was the producer. I'm like, of course I can talk about that. I've been living it all my life. So I got up there. In that moment, I got to talk about resilience. Resilience, because I am a thriver of cancer. Is that a story to tell? Sure, I had cancer. I had people who said, you got stage 4 cancer, you know what that means? Cancer equals death. Read my finger, is what I told the doctor. You're not God. So you guys got that one. Read my finger. I said, you know what? I know what my body is. I know what I need. I want a naturopath and I want a medical doctor. Are you crazy? Those people are not allowed in my hospital. I said, well, thank you so much. I'm going to go find another hospital. And today I get to say I'm 25 years thriving from cancer. That's the story I get to tell. I get to tell it through the eyes of resilience. I get to tell it because how many of you know someone who had cancer and they're not here today? Thank you. That is signature talks and visibility. So I don't say this lightly. Your pain is your credential. How do we take your pain and let it lead into a story? How do we make a change that can make a difference? Yes? Yeah, I get behind on my slides here. You notice I don't pay attention. Your brand, your stage, and your success is what the world is waiting to hear about. We all have stories. My life dedicated to Special Olympics. 35 years. I was a director of Special Olympics. You know how I raised $2.5 million a year? My athletes told their story. My athletes told their story. Can you imagine a team from Hawaii winning a gold, silver, and bronze medal in speed skating? Or downhill snow, racing, whatever that's called. I didn't know, guys. I was from Hawaii. We practiced skiing on the grass slopes because someone invented wheels on a ski. Can you imagine this? Mamie Jean on the ice, speed, crossover, boom, on the ground. But every single one of my athletes ran to get me up. And we finished the race together while we were training. Those are the stories that people get to hear. Those are the stories that make for signature talks. And keep this in mind, guys. Your story is not just personal. Your story is profitable. And the stories that you have, someone else is waiting to hear. Okay? Oh my God, did you read this slide yet? WTF! No, it's not what the. I got paid $5,000 to do this speech, and it was called Warrior, Trainer, Founder, or Trailblazer, Founder. Why? Because it took a warrior to stand up every day to fulfill the dreams that I had as a Hawaii girl. It took a trailblazer because I needed to make my own path so that other people would not have to go through what I did. And the founder is where you find Dr. Eric and I. Because we are constantly reinventing what really needs to be talked about out there. And you just got a small glimpse of what we do. So no, WTF does not represent what you think. You can make it whatever you want. And when you have your topic, you get to choose how you tell that story. Are you getting this? Okay? And your story becomes your superpower. Just like him, he just walked right in with his superpower and he can sit right here in the front of the room. Just joking. Thank you. Welcome. All right. So I want you to listen to this. The cost of a missed pitch can cost you a lot. And I'm not talking about money, everybody. Okay? Misaligned messages can cost you deals. It can disengage investors. And it could go into paths that you really don't want to be. And getting up here to speak is not winging it. You have to know exactly what you want your audience to walk away from. And for a signature talk, make sure that the talk that you're going to have aligns with who you are. Because you never know which talk that you're going to do that is going to align you with someone else. You know, yesterday I had the ability to help set up rooms and clean up with Doc. And who would have thunk it? I met a 9-figure income earner. 9-figure income earner. And he was the most humblest person I've ever met. He showed me where he lived. He showed us what he had. And it was so humbling. So I want you to understand you never know who you're going to meet when you step out and put yourself out there. Okay? Let's see. You want to also make sure that your signature talks have some emotions. You notice I don't stand behind that podium. That's why Doc goes, oh my God, she's off script again. But that's okay. The other thing Tony Robbins taught me is this. You might want to write this down. Let your audience determine your presentation. I'm going to repeat that. Let your audience determine your presentation. I went to do my speech today. I had a whole 13 slides up there, and we didn't get past the first slide. But did they get value? Absolutely. So keep that in mind when you're putting together your talks. Systematic approach. I'm not going through the whole slide, guys. You can see it. We'll be posting this later. Deliver your talk, generate quality leads, and convert it into revenue. Sounds simple, yes? And it really is. And it does take work. It takes work. And this is where we have to learn how to balance. If you take a look at my schedule, I got a date with my grandbabies on Friday and Saturday. I got a date with my son because I'm going to run the Arkansas River and hope I don't fall off the boat. But those are the things that you want to actually be aware of. As a speaker, you're going to have to learn how to balance your life. Because the glory of speaking up on stage is not all that glamorous sometimes. And I've worked with some of the best and some of the worst. And it's tough. Because in my eyes, when you're up there on stage, you are someone's dream. I'm going to give you another tip. You might want to write this down. ROI. ROI to many people is return on investment. I'm going to add 3 more returns that I want you to keep in mind when you're sharing your story. Money is important, but support, that's another ROI. Support is a currency. Doc and I bank on support. Yes, Doc?
Absolutely.
I want to acknowledge we've got Dahlia out there. Dahlia, raise your hand, hon. Dahlia flew in from Chicago just to help support this event. Support is a currency, everyone. Okay? Reputation is another ROI. How you are on stage, I hope you are on off stage. Be congruent, because many speakers, they look good on stage, and when they get off the stage, not so good. Not so good. I won't mention their names. Okay? And the last thing is when you can get support, you can build the support and you get reputation, you build legacies. You build legacies. So ROI for me is money, support, reputation, and building legacies. How many of you are building something to leave a legacy? Raise your hand. Oh, put your hands down. You're not going to leave a legacy. You're going to live a legacy. Ooh, baby. I get all jacked up when I do that. Live your legacy, everybody. Because when you live your legacy, who benefits? Everybody, including yourself. And so when we live our legacy, there is no stopping us now. No stopping us now. That's the ROI of the speaking business. I'm going to reiterate 3 core elements you have to make your message different and to actually bring in the money as a keynote speaker. And you can bring in money as a keynote speaker. Okay? You have to have a clear message. Believe it or not, I can travel the world and speak on one topic. Tell me what you stand for. Don't tell me what you do. Tell me what you stand for. So when I walk into any meeting, how many of you have heard this? What do you do? I'm like, I look them in the eye and I say, how's about if I tell you what I stand for? I stand for global impact leaders who want to move from invisible to invincible. Whoa, baby. Woo. I'm hot, hot, hot. Yes. Move from invisible to invincible. And the thing is this, you have to believe that you can do that. And I can say this. My grandchildren, they are the grandchildren that I love, not the grandchildren I wish they were. Because every single one of my grandchildren, they got a mission in life. To play, of course. They're 3- and 4-year-olds. Play. Their other mission is to make a difference for anyone who walks in the door. That's the Hawaiian way too. Yes? And the other thing is this, I have one grandchild that hugs and kisses are not what he dreams of. He dreams of Legos to build what we sometimes don't even realize he has in his head. Now, is that powerful? So sometimes you'll see Nana on the floor, in depth, building moats that don't look like moats. I'm like, what is that, Valentine? He goes, my moat. Like that, my moat. I'm like, of course it's your moat. What is around your moat? Motorcycles and bikes. And I'm like, you know what a moat is, baby? He goes, water. And on the water, we have to have surfboards and skis. This is my 4-year-old grandchild. My 4-year-old grandchild knows how to get on his snowboard and ride that board. My 4-year-old grandchild has actually climbed mountains. Now, we may look like mountains. Oh, that looks like a hill. But for him, it's a mountain. At 2-year-old, that boy got on his bike with no training wheels and rode down the mountain. And Nana was freaked out because that boy had no fear. How many of you wish you had that still in your life? I can tell you this, being a signature talker, a signature speaker, helps me fill those long time moments that sometimes we only wish we had. So I tell you, is this the story and what is yours? Okay? And how do you show up even under pressure? It's pretty easy, guys. You do this. You stand up and you walk forward out of pressure. Stop, breathe, correct, and continue. You know what's so scary? It's so quiet in here right now. Are you guys getting value? Yes. Yeah? So I want you to understand this. Your story is your story. If you don't know how to get started, find someone who can do that for you. I'm going to say this. That Ignite Your AI Challenge, we do amazing things. Like, take someone who's been doing interviews for veterans of war over 27 years. We took the AI tool that we had, dumped it all in, and then helped her time and chronologically put it in order. And then she said, that's not the way I want it to be said. Okay, how do you want it said? And we gave AI instructions to do something different. But the story was still whose? Hers. Okay? All right, here's your story strategy. Pain point. I told you your pain is your credential. What's possible? What's possible? How do you take that pain point and make it live? And once you know what the pain point is, the why behind it, go gather up the proof that can help transform someone else's life. And that's some of the tools that Dr. Eric is developing. Okay? My story took me 20 years to write. And then when COVID happened, I ended up writing 6 books. That amazing. And I'm going to show you. I work with a man. We put together a dose of hope. I didn't pay for a chapter in here, but guess what? This has changed the lives of many people because there's like 300 plus stories in here. I had a friend who owned a medical business. She asked, Mamie, how can we take your knowledge and communicate to the emergency room staff? How can we teach nurses to have better bedside manners? Oh, is that such a thing? No bedside manners. Well, that's how we ended up. I ended up writing for a mobile medicine book, Overcoming People, Culture, and Governance. I didn't go outside of my realm, guys. all I talked about was personality intelligence and communication. Communicating trust through relatability, personality intelligence, and conversations with stakeholders. This changed the lives of people in 12 countries. Is that the kind of impact that you want to leave in the world? That is the impact that I love. Remember I told you I do get to work with some of the best. I got to write a chapter in this book called Cracking the Rich Code. Guess who was on it? Tony Robbins, Kevin Harrington, and Jim Britt. All amazing men. But I would not have been able to do this had I not put myself out there, guys. And what I didn't tell you is this. I volunteered with some of the best speakers for 20 years of my life. 20 years of my life. And only today can I actually claim a space on my own stage. Is that good or good? So with that, I'll give you guys this presentation because for me, the path that I wanted to show you is this. You can start anywhere you want. We can start with a story. We can start with a podcast. We can take that story and turn it into a book. Take that book and get you on podcast so you can tell that story. Take that podcast, turn it into a course, and then we'll write you music so you can dance up to the stage. Where do you want to start on your ascension? And how big are your dreams so that you can fit other people's dreams in it? Doc, how am I doing on time?
You're good. You got 9 minutes.
I got 9 minutes. I'm going to close this down, guys. 9 minutes. What do you want to know? Yes, what's your name?
I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie.
And I have a workshop that's been doing well. I have a talk that's written, and I think what I'm struggling with is the business side of kind of like pitching myself as a speaker and figuring out like how to like what's the marketing game? What's the game, right? It's like I have the talk, but I don't have the pipeline.
How many of you are in that same boat? You don't have the pipeline. I'm going to give you a couple of tips. You ready for this? And it's free. Take what you're doing, take what you love, and have somebody film it. And then put it out there. I'm going to ask you this question. How confident are you about the topic that you want to speak on?
Oh, that not great. I have a very good talk, but I'm not sure it's.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest. Yeah. You got to have your why. Go find that why first. Because guess what? When you find that why, everything else falls into place. So if you've got talks that is not moving you, you know, what's his name? Les Brown said, if your why don't make you cry, you're in the wrong business. Okay? So if your why does not make you cry, how are you going to put that out to the universe or put that out to the people to come and learn? And I'm going to say this, guys. We are not in the business of finding followers. We are in the business of finding leaders who want to lead. I always tell people say, hey, maybe I want to follow you. You can only follow me on LinkedIn. Everything else, you got to step up as a leader. Got it? Why? Choose leaders of leaders, everyone, because the leaders of leaders will take you somewhere else. And you know that first gift that you get by just getting 10 points? It's called an impossible dream. I've been there, I've done that. Doc and I, we took Dr. Ben Hardy's challenge, and he said, what are you going to do? What's your impossible dream? Doc and I said, $250,000 in a month. And we both looked at each other and we just cracked up. You can make $250,000. So Doc goes, Mamie, how's about if we say we're going to make $1 million? I'm going to say this, guys. It's not about making the $1 million. It's about thinking differently, finding new perspective. Because if you're doing what you did yesterday, you ain't going to get nothing in the future. Now, that's my Hawaiian coming out. Okay? And what we had to do was come out with different scenarios to get to the $1 million. And we can't do what we did today to get there. That's the results of today. So we talk about how do we get out there? How do we do visibility? Doc, he wrote newsletters. 2 times a week, a newsletter. He went from 1,000 people to he's got 11,600 plus now. Is that good or good? I'm not a LinkedIn fan, so I followed Doc. So I went from 1,000 to 2,600. That's pretty good in a couple of months. And today I got 45 more views. Hopefully I'll get, how many people have come through our class now, Doc? A couple hundred? And hopefully that will get me out there. Now the other thing too, guys, know this. What you post on social media, where does it go? To the chair next to you? No. It goes out into the internet world. So make sure that what you're posting is valuable to those that are following you and reading. Okay? So, yes.
So I know people don't like the sales part. I mean, that's something that I've been thinking about in terms of at what point does the talk end and at what point do you start selling something or engaging? What is your transition to doing? Or do you just build it in as like, this is what I do?
I seed through the whole thing. Always be seeding. I'm a nurturing person, guys. I don't like selling. But I love seeding. And I do believe that I am a lifelong learner. And so when I tell you go out and speak your why, I'm not asking you to go out and give everything away, guys. I know that. Been there, done that. But you do have to find the value that you can. And tell me what you stand for is not just telling people what you stand for. When you tell someone what you stand for and they go, ooh, I believe in that too. Now you've got 1 and 1 equals 3, not 2. 1 and 1 equals 3. You take those 3 people and you go find 2 others. For my seminars, my first seminar, I presented to 20 of my stuffed animals because nobody showed up. So I told my stuffed animals, the next time I have a workshop, you bring 1 person. That's how I started. 1 person. That 1 person brought 2. Those 3 people brought 2 each. And by the time my next class came, we had a couple hundred. And today, they brought the stuffed animals too. And then I didn't have to be out there constantly begging to be on somebody else's stage. Because someone will hear the message that you are clearly giving, and then they're going to say, I want you to speak at my next event. And so you go from speaking to getting paid a couple hundred, to getting paid a couple thousand. And then when you light up someone's life, you can go from a couple thousand to 10,000 to 200,000. I've worked with people that do that. Not everybody's made for a TED Talk, everyone. But everybody wants to be a TED speaker. I'm going to be very transparent. I train and coach TEDx speakers. I have never been on a TEDx stage. Is that something I want to do? Maybe. But it's not going to make or break me. Does that make sense? But I can tell you this. When I can walk into a room and I can see someone smiling at me, and they can tell me that I did make a difference in their lives, that is what drives me to do my next gig. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any other questions? Yes?
Very nice talk. My name is Michael. Curious on if you could elaborate a little bit more about emotional intelligence and how that plays into your talk, and then just how you interact with people.
Very good. Any of you been in a room where the person on the front of the stage had no intelligence? That's when you go, oh my God, I have emotional intelligence. But that's the truth. People will feel you, and they're listening to see if what you talk about is how you walk. So walk your talk. Emotional intelligence for me is this. I get to have conversations with people without making judgment. I know exactly where I'm at, my emotional state, and how I impact another person. For me, emotional intelligence is one of the best topics that you could be teaching right now in the corporate world. Because emotional intelligence, you know, believe it or not, guys, Doc and I, our mission is to raise AI with empathy. And understand that the human sitting, standing, or kneeling right in front of me, they too have a story. And when I can touch the life of someone, that makes it all the difference. And emotional intelligence, everyone, emotional intelligence is so important. Because how many of us know, if not yourself, who wants to be seen, and yet you don't know what to do? And so you do things that may not be the best decision. I just had someone do that in my line of work. They came out and they bashed their whole community. And guess what? By the time we were done, within a few minutes, our call went from 138 people to 120. And when someone said the F word, it went down even further. That was not emotional intelligence. And so it's very important to understand emotional intelligence are the words that we actually speak out that we can never take back. Never take back. And so be aware. Know how you're impacting someone, because you never know what words are going to help carry someone forward. And that is the way I love to live.
More waiting, the moment is now. You've got the tools, we'll show you how. Let your influence